You know what terrifies me about the chiropractic profession right now? Well, most doctors are literally so busy treating patients today that they're completely blind to the massive shifts happening that fundamentally change how we practice right now. And the doctors who aren't paying attention to these shifts are going to get absolutely crushed by forces they never saw coming in the first place. So after working with hundreds and hundreds of independent chiropractors and watching market patterns emerge across the country over decades, I can tell you exactly which trends are going to separate thriving practices from struggling ones in 2026. These aren't maybe possibilities. These are shifts already in motion that will absolutely hit full force over the next 12 months. So today I'm exposing the 3 industry trends that will affect every single chiropractor, whether you're prepared or unprepared. And I'll show you exactly what to do now to position yourself on the winning side of these changes instead of becoming another casualty. These aren't theories. These are patterns I'm watching play out in real time right now. Here's what nobody wants to admit. The chiropractic landscape you built your practice on is disappearing, even if you've only been in business for 2 years. And if you're not adjusting your strategy right now and adapting, you'll wake up in 2026 wondering why your practice suddenly stopped working. So the first trend that's accelerating faster than anyone expected is the insurance reimbursement collapse. Not a gradual decline, a collapse. I'm watching insurance companies slash chiropractic reimbursements by 15, 25% in major markets in many states right now. And what used to take 5 years to shift is now happening in 12 months or less. The practices that built their entire model on insurance revenue were already feeling the squeeze as in reimbursement dropped. But most don't realize it's about to get dramatically worse. So imagine Dr. Patterson, who's built a successful practice over 15 years, taking most insurances. She's busy, she's seeing patients, and then 3 of her major insurance contracts get renegotiated with 20% lower reimbursement profiles. Suddenly, she's working the same hours, but making 20% less monthly, $8,000, $10,000 less a month. She can't afford her staff. She can't cover rent. She's trapped seeing insurance patients at rates that don't sustain her practice, but she has no alternative revenue model built. So she has to be reactive. How can you protect yourself before it's too late? First, calculate what percentage of your revenue comes from insurance right now. You probably know that number. If not, you should. If it's over 70%, you're right in the danger zone. If you're over 50%, you're in the danger zone. You need alternative revenue streams immediately. So if that's the case, start transitioning your practice model today before it becomes a financial nightmare, not when the crisis hits. So begin introducing cash options, package plans and membership programs to your current patients. Test what works while you still have cushion. And then also build relationships with patients around value that you provide, not insurance coverage, value. And when patients choose you because of outcomes, not because you're in network, you're recession-proof against reimbursement drops in the future. And so the doctors who diversify their revenue model now can survive and can thrive. The ones who wait, they're going to be forced into panic decisions when their income crashes overnight, that leads to bad decisions. But insurance changes are just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. So the second big trend that's reshaping literally everything is the patient expectation revolution around transparency and convenience. So patients in 2026 will not tolerate the old healthcare model of surprise bills, of confusing coverage explanations, and scheduling that requires 3 phone calls, or excessively long report of findings with a car salesman type approach. They've been trained by Amazon, by Uber, and online banking to expect instant clarity and really a frictionless experience. And the practices that can't deliver that level of transparency and convenience will lose patients to the ones who can. It's pure and simple. Think about what's happening in patient behavior right now. Someone needs a chiropractor. They know they need a chiropractor. They don't call 3 offices and wait for callbacks like they did 5 years ago. They check Google. They scan for availability online. They look at the online booking options, and they want to know costs up front before they ever make contact. If your practice requires them to call during business hours, wait on hold, and then come in before you'll discuss pricing, you've already lost them to the competitor down the road who has online scheduling and clear pricing on their website. Here's what you need to do now. First, implement online scheduling immediately. If you haven't already, you're already 10 years behind. This isn't a luxury anymore. It's basic expectations. Now, patients want to book at 10 p.m. on a Sunday when their back hurts, not wait until Monday morning to call you during your office hours and hoping you answer the phone. And then second, create complete financial transparency before first visit. Not hidden until they arrive. Clear information about what things cost in the office, what insurance covers, and what payment options exist. Post it publicly. And then third, eliminate every friction point in your patient experience. How many steps does it take to book? How long do people wait on hold? How long do they wait in your reception room? How many forms do they fill out? Every unnecessary step is a patient loss to someone more convenient, someone who is more adept at these soft skills. The practices that build Amazon-level convenience will dominate. The ones clinging to 1990s, 2000s, 2015 systems will wonder where all their patients went. But there's one more trend that really changes everything. So the third trend that will hit critical mass in 26, this year, is the affordability crisis in healthcare. Patients are drowning in medical debt. It's the highest reason for declaring bankruptcy. And they're drowning in with high deductible plans that make them responsible for thousands before insurance pays anything. In the next year, the practices that can only serve patients with great insurance or unlimited cash will watch their patient base shrink dramatically. The winners will be the ones who figure out how to make quality care accessible to the massive middle market that wants chiropractic but can't figure out how to afford it. So picture this happening anywhere in this country in 2026. A patient with a $5,000 deductible needs chiropractic care, and they know it. Under the old model, they either pay full fee until they hit their deductible, which they never will, or they don't get care at all. Most choose option B, not get care at all. Your competitor down the street has no solution for this patient. The smart doctor has a compliant program that makes care affordable regardless of insurance status, regardless of deductible. Well, who gets the patient? Well, you do, every time. And here's how you apply this approach to capture the market everyone else is losing. First, recognize that affordability isn't about lowering your fees. It's about having systems that make care accessible through payment structures patients can actually manage. And then second, implement programs specifically designed for high deductible and or uninsured patients. These aren't discounts. These are legitimate financial structures that serve a market segment that's literally exploding. And then third, train your entire team to confidently present affordability solutions. So when someone says they can't afford care, that's not a no. That's an opportunity to show them the options that work for their situation. And the practices that solve the affordability problem will have full schedules, while others blame the economy for their empty appointment books. This isn't about being cheap. It's about being accessible. It's about being smart. Now, here's what makes navigating these trends, these patterns, actually possible. You need systems in place right now that address all three of these things simultaneously. Financial models that don't depend on insurance, patient experiences that deliver convenience and transparency, and affordability solutions that serve the mass market. The practices that have built these systems are already winning and winning big. The ones waiting are already losing. If you're ready to stop hoping that these trends won't affect you and start positioning your practice to thrive regardless of what 2026 brings, head over to apexlongevity.com. Discover how our compliant cash discount program solves the insurance transparency and affordability challenges simultaneously, giving you the foundation to succeed in the changing landscape. The doctors dominating in 26 won't be the ones with the best clinical skills. They'll be the ones who saw these trends coming and adjusted their business model before it was too late. The shifts are happening right now. Your response determines whether you thrive or struggle through what's coming. Time to choose which side of these trends you want to be on. If you've picked up one piece of solid, actionable information, first write it down and use it, and then please share this segment with a friend or colleague that could benefit. And leave us a nice review. I'd appreciate that. I hope you learned at least one outstanding gem, and I hope you also have a fantastic day. Take care.